Okay. Hi everyone, this is GeoWill from Productions², and we're back. So, earlier this evening we did a little bit of work on the advanced weapon plugin to do the level to get the loading working, and it seems that we got it going. So we were having issues bringing in the trait level bonuses because of how the save contents is being formatted, and having issues bringing that back in and formatting it correctly. But I think we got that solved now. Stuff's coming in, and we can see the actual values in the game weapons. Not the game weapons, but the actor weapons stuff. So, and it looks like it does when you're loading it from saving it. So I think that's going to be fine. Now we need to do these other 6 things here, the parameters and the traits proper. So I think the best way to do this, well, let's see. Let's have a look at not this one, but oh yeah, here. This is where I want to be. Process load contents. We want to look at the well, once you do this for one, we can do it for everything. So we just need to get one of them, and we need to see what it looks like in the formatting. Alright, so obviously it's an object, and inside of here we have the base parameters. So I think all we really need to do, and these correspond to the parameter IDs themselves. So HP, MP, attack, yada yada yada. So we need to have, well, that's fine. These could just be list elements. So I think all we have to do is just process it back into a list. We have to do an object.keys loop, throw the values into a list, and then return the list. And then that will be the variable that we import. So, game instance weapon handler dot prototype dot decode param, all params, function arms. So there parm list equals a list, or an array if you like. Object.keys parms dot for each function PID, then parm list dot add or push, parm list dot push parms PID. Come on. There. I think that's all we have to do for that. And then obviously return parm list. So if this doesn't run, it'll just return an empty list, which is fine. As long as it's not undefined or null. So then all we have to do is call this, and for each of these with the various imported things here. So like this here. Actually, we could do an X on that, on the rest of them. Do a cut and paste instead of copy paste. All right, and then paste these back down here. params and then ex params. Alright. Now, traits. So for traits, I think we just have to kind of do what we did on this inner one, just this one, and in reverse. Well, no, the same way, but similarly to this. So if we look at game party weapons real quick, and we go to traits. So we have an array, and it's just an array with an object it's just an array of objects. But we'll need to set up this object in here this way. So it'll be basically we could probably just take this, modify it slightly, and reuse it. This should be a list, so alright, and that's going to be traits. Don't need that. We won't need this either. Alright, so actually pull this outer one out too. Well, actually what we can do is just do this. Pull the inner one out, just the inner definition of it out. Get rid of that. All that, and go to that, and then return RTN traits. Alright, it's traits, new trait, very new trait. It's new trait. So traits, TID. And then return traits dot push, and that'll be new trait, which is fine. So that should work now too. So traits becomes traits, and we put that there. Now, for these we have to go process, rather decode this dot decode param. I think it's params actually. Let's just call it param. It makes more sense that way because we're passing through a single parameter to decode rather than decoding multiples. So just add this to all these. And then this at the end without removing any semicolons. Don't need to make any more issues. Alright, then we need to do decode traits. Okay. So let's go ahead and see what we can see about that. See what we get from that. Let's go and delete this. I didn't want to delete. That's fine, I guess. We'll just put this back down here. Alright. Oh, yay. What do we got? So we got probably a typo somewhere. Oh, game instance. Weapon. Sounds like a Eevee style Pokemon. Weapon. It's when you evolve Eevee with a gunstone. Alright, handler. Probably some more typos there, but we'll see. Nope, alright. No, decode traits is not defined. Why isn't it defined? Decode traits. Traits. Oh, this. This is missing. And if you transpose the first and last letters of this, you get... Well, you get what it is. As for people, the people that made up the English language legitimately wrote lots of things that are very similar to swear words just because they were bored or something. Same with the keyboard. That's the way it's designed. Is that there were bored, so they wanted to put things close together. So if you mistyped something on particular words, you would end up typing out curse words instead of the one you wanted. Like, for example, duck. For example. Type one letter to the right, it has a whole different meaning than duck. No bonuses. Why are you not found? Who lost you? Blah. So, object key, because we copied that up there and didn't change that to traits. That makes sense. Any other weirdness? Everything else looks good, so I think we're good to go. I'm sure we'll find something else. That's the nature of debugging. Oh, awesome. Oh, wow. Wait a second, do that again. That was like... Did it literally just take that long, or did it just... No, okay, it was just... It had a brain fart. I was gonna say, what the hell. Somehow fixing bugs caused it to load more slowly. Alright, level bonuses not defined. Which is interesting. Actually, we're outside of the for loop now, aren't we? Crap. We won't be able to find anything out from there, I don't think. Unless we're in the for loop. Then again, maybe we broke the level bonuses thing. It's also possible. Oh yeah, level bonuses is undefined. Maybe because there's no semicolon. Or is there? Nope, there's definitely no semicolon. So let's see, level bonuses undefined. Because we are not returning. I knew there was something I was missing. Somewhere. So we're going to add these to level bonuses and then pass it back through. So, level bonuses. Dir eparams, we'll bring this down again. So dir okay. Now let's have a look-see at what happens. Okay, level bonuses is there. Actor weapons. Let's see. Traits. So we need to add act weapon. So we can take a look at the formatting here. So there's our tag. Sword. Traits. So these are the initial traits, and then we should also have some level bonus traits. Or not. So, why are there no traits in the level bonuses? Let's go to the next one. It might just be something with that, or it might be that we're not setting things up correctly when we're passing it through. Axe. Oh right, because they don't have, none of these guys have the other. Yeah, okay, so that's not gonna work. Let's go ahead and do that. And go back to title and load the 6th one, I think. There we go. So, level bonuses, traits. Here we go. Huh. That's weird. Yeah, it's loading correctly here. But it wasn't loading the sword correctly. Huh. We'll have to do some more testing with that. So traits, we got 5. We got these arrays. Those look fine. Okay, so cool, there's our traits now. So, we need to do some leveling up here. So this is a loaded weapon. So I'm going to level up to 3 and we're going to add these in here. Now let's go ahead and save. We'll re-equip it to Herald so that we can check, because we still haven't gotten the game party loading code in yet. But let's check and make sure that's no. Got a new issue. Alright, so on a reload, we have this equips null issue. Okay, so equips 0 base params is null. No. Equips of null, so the actor is null. Game actors _data AID. And that's AID in game actors _data. So I actually created a new function to get the actor itself from game party. So I think we may want to use that instead. I'm going to put a breakpoint here though, and we're going to see what's actually going on. So let's go and do a refresh, reload, whatever, press F5. I'm going to reload 6. I'm just going to reload 6 and then I'm going to resave it. Actually, we could probably disable this one for now. Want to keep that one, don't want to keep this one. Nor this one. So I just want to try and resave it. So, AID is 0. Game actors, we have 5. Oh, because it starts on 1, I bet. The curse of the 1 index. Yeah, the curse of the 1. The curse of the 1 index. List strikes again. So why are we getting a 0 here? Where the hell is this coming from that we're getting a 0? Data manager saves. Create save contents. Okay, so we're calling that. I mean, that's true. But why is this not a problem before now? Maybe it is, and we just maybe it's now an issue because we're doing the things a little bit differently than before. Let's try actually doing a new one and saving it. So I'm wondering if it's going to still do it now. Maybe we changed something, and in that change, the saving of it is broken now. But it has to be on the act. Well, the actors already have them on them, so. No, yeah, no problem. That's interesting. So, when you initially start it, Game Actors has 5 elements in the array, but there's one missing. That's interesting. Or maybe this counts as an element in the array. Either way, it doesn't have the 0 element in it. But when we load it from the save game, it does. Now, we're not doing anything to Game Actors, so that's just it's MV's internal code causing malfunctioning, because I don't think that should actually happen. Well, I mean, it should happen, but I mean, I don't know. Either that or this is not how it should be. There should maybe be a 0 element there that isn't there. So what we need to do, we need to make sure we're handling the 0 on that then. So... And it's also on load contents too. Well, on load contents we're fine because we're pulling in the ID from the weapon instance. It's just on the saving because we're looping through the actors to save what they have. Okay, so game party save contents. If AID is not 0. If you are 0, we want nothing to do with you. Alright, that should handle that. Continue. So let's go to the title. Let's reload number 6. And let's just save it. Damn, here we go again. Same issue. So it's still coming up as null. The question is why. So AID is 1 this time. So actor is game actor. This done actor weapons, weapon ID. So game gen params. Actor equips 0, which is the instance weapon. So let's just throw this in here and see what we're pulling out. What the actual values in here are. So base params, we have values. No, it looks like it's fine. So where's it failing? So add params. X params, SP params, final params, traits, level bonuses. That's fine. So didn't fail there. So 1 to 4, or 0 to 4. And at some point it throws out a hairy undefined. Why? So there's 4. So what the hell? Did it not just like lose its crap a second ago when we tried to save it again? What the hell? Oh, maybe we didn't, but maybe we didn't refresh it. I think that might have happened. Okay. So it looks like it's working now. So we just had to deal with the 0 on the reload, which is interesting. There's all this all that kind of stuff is all over. That kind of stuff's all over the place. All these weird kind of quirks because of how kind of sloppily put together this is. I mean, it works, and that's good, but at the same time, they could have done things way, way, way differently, and it would have been much more efficient than how they did it. Okay, so that seems to be working again now. We can reload. Well, we haven't tested the reload yet. That's true. So let's go ahead and unequip him, and level it up. Then re-equip him. And then try to reload. The save again. Again, just in the interest of being completely thorough, testing everything, because you never know. Something might break because, I don't know, he was looking 2 degrees to the left instead of where he's looking at now in the image, and it crashes the whole thing. I don't know. Okay, equip Katana, Sword, and Katana of Darkness, level 4. Durability, experience is there, it's good. All that is there, this is there. Okay, good. Everything is still there. Awesome. Good, good, good. Now, now we have to handle saving or loading the game party weapons stuff. So these are a bit more interesting. Well, no, not really, actually. So what we just need to do is on the load of data, this is save. We want to go down to the next one. All we really need to do is just basically all this again, and just the game party weapons. So, or with party weapons instead of actor weapons. So we're just gonna kind of copy all of this, and again we'll deal with the refactoring of all this later. I don't usually refactor stuff till I get like to the final version of it, so doesn't happen until well in the future. Just because it's easier to refactor something once you have the nearly finished version of it. Because what if you refactor something and it turns out that you had to had to change the way that it was working before? Well, I mean, I guess there's an argument to be made that refactoring it now would make that easier to fix, unless there was like a completely new, completely different type of thing where you had to redo all the coding for it, and then in doing that you found that you had to do things differently for certain things, then you'd have to kind of break the code apart again. But it's just, you know, stylistically I like to do refactoring once everything is pretty much where it's going to be. Because then I can break things with impunity. Okay, so we're just gonna, or we did copy it. We just need to change out a few things. So this becomes party weapons. And instead of game actors, we just don't have anything. So don't need either of these. At least not up here. Yeah, we'll keep those, so I'll need to copy them back down here. But we'll change this from act weapon to PRT weapon. Or PRTY weapon, I guess we'll call it. Oops, not that one. It's the act weapon we want to change. So let's go find all the act weapons. Or wait. This one. Then we'll do that one. This is the one I meant to change though. Control V. And then we don't need to do that. We'll change that later. So we'll say PWEP. PWERP. Okay, so a few other things we have to add back down there, like this one. So PRTY. So is it act ID or act ID with capital or lowercase? Let's find out. That's only done on save though, I think. Or no, it should be in here. Slot ID. There should be an actor ID. But there isn't. Okay, we'll need to add it then. Just so we have it defined here, so we're not. So we'll do it with lowercase because that's what everything else is, and we'll just say 0 for now. That'll be the default version of it. Otherwise, this to underscore. Okay. Though, to be honest, we don't actually ever use that functionality because we're having to rebuild the thing from the get-go. So I thought maybe we could just like load it in from the save the way it is and then just throw it in here, say if it's a weapon instance, and then have it automatically do it. But that's not been the case. Alright, so we got that in there. So act ID, yeah. And then the slot. PRTY weapon. Equals weapons slot ID. And obviously we'll be changing I didn't copy the right one. So these we can just get rid of because we don't need them anymore. And then all these actor weps. Oh right, okay. Their party weps. I forgot that we did that. So actually we can just do this. Helps a little bit. Okay. Now, this part, select all this stuff and replace it with that. Then when we're done with one, all we have to do is call game party not a hashtag, a $. Game party dot underscore weapons dot push PRTY weapon. Okay, so that should load up the party weapons now through the same code. So let's go have a look and see if that actually does load correctly as well. Barring some really weird, strange stuff, it should. Okay, so this time I'm going to take the katana. Really? Did I have 4? I don't think I had 4. Right. We need to reset. That's what it is. We need to reset game party weapons. I almost forgot about that. Because it's loading in things on its own through the game party object. So we need to reset it and then load things in this way, just to make sure everything's correct. So game party underscore weapons equals. This is 0 out the list. Okay, reload. Otherwise, we're going to add them in twice, like what just happened. Yeah. Alright, so save over 6. Load it again. Continue 6. Equip sword. Okay, that's good. If we look at the... Alright, well, by default, having at least the attack parameter being applied is good. Let's look at it again. So that's there, and all good. So loading works too. Awesome. So now everything works. Loading, saving, equipping, unequipping, saving actor weapons, saving weapons in the party, weapons list, loading them back into both those places. The level up works, the refinement system works, the synthesized system works, the repair system works, and the durability system works. So that's literally everything is working now. Awesome. So this plugin is now technically functional and ready to be released, but we're going to do some extra stuff because I always like to do put in at least some plugin parameters. And holy crap, oh, this is the objects list. Objects file, yeah. I'm just wondering, let me just check something real quick. So I found this out with the bank plugin, which is that if you stick a custom object inside of a plugin file, the object doesn't get loaded correctly. Or at least the game bank's object didn't. I'm not sure what happened with this. But it basically doesn't get loaded as the right object. It gets loaded in as just an object rather than as a object of what it really is. So instead of a game instance weapon, for example, it would be loaded as just an object. It would lose all of the functions and all that stuff that's associated with it through that. So we're going to try and see if that still happens or not. Let's do this. And we're going to try and... Yeah, exactly. It's still doing it. So, instWeapons.load, process load contents is not a function. So that's being called from here. Now if we just reload this and we try and load it and we look at this, it's going to show instance weapons. It's going to show it as a object, not as a game instance weapon handler. Exactly. See, object. I'm not sure why that is, and so far nobody that I've talked to knows exactly why that is either. I'm just wondering if nobody's really written any plugins that really deal with adding custom objects that you then save to the save file and reload from the save file. I mean, I don't know of... I can't think off the top of my head any plugins that do that. And pretty much all the plugins just, plug into literally what's already existing, like the battle menu screen or what have you, and adds things to that that don't get saved, or that are saved with the plugin in some shape or form or fashion. They don't have their own specific new objects that they create that then they load into the save file and load back out of it. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't know of any off the top of my head. Maybe there are some. But it just seems like nobody's ever seen this before, so that's why it's kind of interesting to me. Anyway, so we do need to keep it over there, so that's going to be interesting. Alright, save. Okay, now, so at this point, we're, well, let's make a list. I said we make a list of what we need to do, plugin parameter-wise and plugin command-wise. So, to do. So for sure, we want to be able to modify the text coloring from plugin commands. We want to be able to enable, or we need to do toggling of the refine system, the synth system, and the repair durability system. We'll want to what else could there be to modify with plugin commands or what have you? Okay, so this will require both plugin commands and plugin parameters. So there'll be a parameter to turn it on or off, and you can also then do it through an event in the game with a plugin command to turn it off or on if you want to, for whatever story or game related reasons. What else do we need to do? Trying to think. I mean, I can't think of anything. Nothing comes to mind. Everything else that could be potentially in that category is already in the weapon note tag, so there's no reason to put any of that in here. So I think that's all I can think of at the moment. So we'll do all that tomorrow, and then maybe I'll prepare the first release of the plugin tomorrow night or Wednesday morning, and won't do a stream or anything. But that's going to be it for now, so thanks for watching. If you watched it live, if you're watching it on YouTube afterwards, comment or question below. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below. And I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. I will see you tomorrow morning where we will do that stuff, and then maybe some more if I remember anything that I thought of wanting to do stuff with this, kind of stuff while we're doing that stuff we have planned. But until next time, I will see you later.